right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Asset Ambition podcast. Very excited for today's episode. We have our first guest, Martin Clément. He's been in the real estate business for 20 years now. He's my mentor. So, do you want to introduce yourself?
I don't think I'm the first guest.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you're
Didn't
the
you
first
guys have
guest.
Cedric on here?
No,
No, not yet.
He bailed. Well,
So
yeah.
you are, you're the lucky one.
Oh, right on. Hey, thanks for having me on,
Yeah,
boys.
thank you very much for coming on.
Are you enjoying producing some content?
Yeah, so far it's been pretty fun.
What has the feedback been like?
People seem to like it.
Yeah?
I mean, it's getting quite a bit of traction for sure on the shorter side of the content.
Yes, of
The
course.
longer side, we'll wait until we actually provide value and have good discussions. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, as you guys know, like Chris and I, we've been doing podcasting for over 6 years now. We started off with like a cell phone and just us talking shit. And we got a call Monday morning. I got a call, voicemail. Oh, can you call me back? Blah, blah, blah. Speak with the lady. Turns out I did an episode with her son 5 years ago.
Wow.
And the only reason I met her son was through podcasting. This guy was producing content online. We got connected. We're friends till this day. So, I mean, an opportunity came by 5 years after the episode. And that episode didn't get, tens of thousands of views. It was it did its purpose. It got a few views.
Yeah.
But like, it's the relationship that you created through the podcasting that,
With your guests.
produces results for us.
That's it.
So,
And the people that watch it can see the authenticity and they can see how you express yourself. So
Yeah.
you can give them like conviction as well. Right?
Yeah.
So we got to see the value in that as well. When we upload videos, it kind of proves that we know what we're talking about, right? It's not just
Of
a
course.
front or anything like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
that's cool.
You also
with
have
it.
Mike Ward on.
Yeah, so that was a goal for episode 100 when Chris and I started La Visite way back when. We sat down, we put a list of people that were famous at the time, still famous today. He said, we'd love to have Mike Ward on the show for episode 100. Turns out he was coming to town. We bought tickets to go see him. I had a few beers. Walked up to him and invited him on the podcast. And the next day he showed up, and I think that was episode number 25 or...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So it happened really quickly. Yeah. But no, it's been good. And now we've built a few studios. So I've got one in Gatineau, one here, and one in Brossard now.
Is
So
that one open or not yet?
it's open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So if ever you guys want to do an episode in Montreal, you've got a studio there now.
That
Yeah, that would
eventually,
be
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's very similar to this. Same setup. It's completely automated. This one's got the nice backdrop. We spend a lot of money on the shelving and the lighting. But over there, it's nice also. Yeah.
So you're well versed in the podcast realm.
I
but,
don't know. Yeah, I'm an amateur podcaster, right? So
But you're not an amateur realtor.
no,
So
it's been a while. I'm learning.
talk to us about your
journey.
Yeah.
So when I was 17, I started my first little business. Had a little chip stand, a little food truck, and I did that for the summer break from high school. It was fun. Made a few bucks. It was good. It paid for my entire college. I did that, 17, 18, 19. And I would work really, really hard during the summers. And like I said, it paid enough to get me through my college years. And then I signed up for culinary arts to become a chef. And I started looking at the salaries for people that work in kitchens. And I didn't get really excited at those amounts. But one day, one of my uncles showed up at my restaurant with a brand new Chrysler 300. You know those
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
those models? Are they still around?
Yes.
They are, yeah.
Yeah? Are they still as nice? Back then, it was like an amazing car.
Yeah?
Well, I mean, it's just something that would impress a 19-year-old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They call it a poor man's Rolls Royce.
Yeah, but anyways, I thought it was like the coolest thing. And turns out he was in real estate. So I asked him, hey, how do I get my real estate license? And that's how I got started down this avenue of becoming a realtor. And then I found myself a mentor, Jean Richer, which is still around. You guys might have done deals with him. A very good mentor, him and Michel Brissette, which is also a guy that comes from up north, Northern-
yeah, eh?
Yeah, I think he's from. I think he's from Timmins,
Okay.
or maybe Kapuskasing. They're all the same up there, right?
Yeah.
For us, it is.
Yeah,
Not
it's
for
all
them.
it all goes in
Hey,
the Northern Ontario
You need to
box.
stay close. It's cold down there.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything past Sudbury is pretty much up north.
It's all up north. Yeah, it's all the same in my head. So no, those two guys, they showed me how to sell real estate. It didn't kick off fast for me. Like my first 6 months in real estate, I didn't sell anything, and then I started listening to Mike Ferry, which is Tom Ferry's dad, and he explained, how important it was to get out there. And then I explored different methods on how to go meet new people, and door knocking seemed to be the best way for me to meet people and meet people fast. So a lot of you might have heard this story before, but I'll say it again. I can still remember the first time that I went out door knocking. I was driving an Oldsmobile Alero at the time, and I had identified this street in Orleans that was new townhouses that would probably sell pretty quickly should I get an active listing. I drove to Falcon Crest, and I parked in front of the first door that I wanted to door knock. And I looked at the door. I was sitting in my car, and I got really nervous. I didn't feel like I wanted to go out and door knock, so I pulled out my Palm Pilot, which was a smartphone at the era, with a little stylus. And instead of starting to door knock, I just played Bejeweled 2 for like 1 hour. And I thought that eventually the jitters would go away and I'd be able to go out and door knock. Long story short, I did not go door knock. I just started up my car. I drove back to the office. I was ashamed. I wasn't really proud of myself because I gave in to the fear that day.
Oh, it's not easy to door knock at all.
No,
Always scary.
it's always
it is.
scary.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I guess the amount of shame that I felt, the way I went to bed that night, I wasn't proud with myself at all. The next day, I decided, okay, I gotta go do this. So, same car, same street, same distractions were available to me. But when I got in front of that door, I actually just got into action right away. I was still fearful. I still had the same fears in me, and I just started door knocking. And then nobody was home. And then eventually I got to this corner unit, and I door knock. The lady answers, and I said, "Hey, I'm Martin Clément with Akira Realty. We got a listing down the street. We're wondering who our next great client will be." And not a fancy script, sort of nothing interesting. And she says, "Hold on a second, I'll go get my husband." I was scared. I was like, fuck, I'm going to get yelled at.
What do I do now?
Yeah, do I just run away? And the gentleman comes back and he says, yeah, how come, why are you door knocking looking for listings? We were just talking about selling our house. It's so weird that you're here. And ended up getting the listing, listed it, sold it a week later. And I tell that story, and I think that story is useful for a lot of realtors out there or anybody in sales. There's only one difference between Marty on day number 1 and Marty on day number 2. Marty on day number 2 just got into action. Everything about me was the same level of competence, the same level of fear. The only difference is one decided to sit in his car, play video games, and the other one got into action.
That's it.
Got the listing.
Overcoming that fear is
huge.
It's very It is huge.
Yeah.
Because once you do it, you become a doer rather than a talker, right? You
Of
want to be a
course.
doer. You want to take action.
Yeah. And the more you do, the less fear you have. So, I mean,
That's correct.
Yeah.
Experience is compounds.
Of course, definitely. And from that moment on, nothing in the first 6 months. The next 12 months after that, I sold 47 homes. So, it was
That's amazing.
something got lit up in me that day.
So what year was that? You remember or?
2006. So I started working in real estate in 2005 as an assistant for Jean Richer. I was essentially receptionist.
Okay. And yeah, for you people watching, if ever you want to become a realtor, it's a very good first step forward to do either be an assistant or admin work or something like that, starting to get used to the documents, right?
Yeah.
And whatnot, because that's a big face of it that it's a big learning curve.
Yeah.
So if you can get that out of the way before learning sales, it's a good step forward.
That's how I started. I had a co-op class.
That's right.
With you.
Yeah.
And I spent a semester working with you and Chris.
That's
got
right.
used to a bit of paperwork. Rahel was showing me around a bit, and
Yeah.
That's
it
amazing.
really helped me because even when I was doing my classes, I already knew most of the paperwork, what they were and how to fill them out.
Yeah.
And when I started, it took me no time to actually do the paperwork.
You have a step on the competition
Yeah.
because you already know the industry.
For sure.
It's huge. If you can
Definitely.
get interested in real estate, there's some people that start in real estate with no experience and they find success.
Yeah,
But
I'm not yet at a level of success compared to you, but like I started from nothing in Hearst. There's no avenues in real estate down there.
No
right? In
way.
the north, there's one realtor, and he does Timmins, Kapuskasing, and Hearst. So that's a 3-hour radius. One realtor. right?
Wow.
Wow.
So there's not a lot of competition, though it's very established, and you know who to call if you need realtor services, right?
So there's not-
a lot of for sale by owners and whatnot. So I didn't have that opportunity to do the admin work in the first place. So I just came here, boom, first thing, needed to learn everything from the start. right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that learning curve was tough, and I would recommend to anyone to get their feet in the market to start as an admin or work at an
Something
office
else.
at least, some sort of first step.
What got you interested in real estate?
Being paid by the more you put in, the more you get out. That's always a job I've had. I was I started as a floater doing dishes at a restaurant. Then I
Cool.
moved on to delivering, and then I got used to you drive quicker, you get through more doors, you get more tips.
Yeah.
And then became a waiter. You do your tables quicker, you take on more tables, you make them smile more, you get more tip.
Yeah.
Got used to that, and then said, what's the next step, right? And didn't see myself in car sales or anything like that, and called up Sylvain.
Yeah.
Called up Sylvain. He used to be my neighbor when I was a child.
Yeah.
He would I would go there when my parents would be at the hotel or whatnot.
Yeah.
And so I got into it
Cool.
by the motivation of the more you put in, the more you get out.
Yeah, it's such a cool industry, and I guess
yeah.
a lot of most sales industries are like this, if not all of them. All commission employments are. Any given year, any given month, any given week, if you want to make a lot of money, you have that possibility.
You can.
Yeah, and if you're working a 9 to 5 and you're on a set salary, yes, it comes with some benefits. You know you've got that income coming in, but if you want to achieve more, it's a lot slower, and the ceiling gets hit pretty quickly.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's right. Agreed.
it's one of the big advantages of being in our world. But you also face the possibility of making
Zero.
or negative.
Oh yes, exactly. There's a lot of expenses that come with it for
Yeah.
sure.
It does, yeah.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
they're mandatory expenses as well. You can offset them by joining a team, for example.
Yeah.
So then you do have a bigger split to remunerate the team leader. So
Yeah, definitely. It's an industry that you have to come into it with a plan.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Because the agents that I see get into the industry and they say, "Oh, we'll see what happens," it rarely works for them, if almost never.
Yeah,
You know.
I feel like there was a lot of those during COVID times, right? When
Yeah, I'll get my
prices were rising quite a
license.
bit and
You know, these realtors are
people
making a
thought
lot of
it's
money.
easy, or- yeah.
People think that being in real estate is like printing money, but like, man, like you've
The amount
got
of hours you put in. is
60, 70 hours, you know.
That's it.
I'm on a bit of a sprint right now, and I'm putting in like 60, 70-hour
Yeah.
work weeks. The nice thing is that when you do want to go on vacation, you don't have a traditional boss.
That's true.
Your clients are your boss. You have to, make sure that they're taken care of. But as long as they're taken care of, then you've got more flexibility to do what you want to do.
That's it. That's it. Another advantage of being on a team.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, teams are good.
Oh yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So we want to turn the subject
Sure.
to investments a
Sure.
little bit, and so we know you're well versed into the real estate investment
Yes.
as well, and maybe you have other ones that you'd like to speak about. But
Sure.
if you want to go ahead and tell us about your first real estate investment,
Okay.
and then if you can take us down the road of your investment journey.
Sure. Yeah. So the first investment that I made, I had I guess I was just starting out in real estate, and there's a side story to that. My first year in real estate, I wanted to buy a house. and I've already shared with you that I wasn't finding a lot of success in the first few months. But I really wanted to buy real estate, and I didn't have a dollar. I didn't have any sales coming in. I went to see my mentor at the time, and I said, hey, like, I'd really like to buy a house. Would you be open to giving me a salary? And turns out that he agreed. He gave me a salary, and it was $30,000 at the time. But instead of being paid on commission, I would make only $900 every time I sold a house. So, like I shared with you, I sold 47 houses. He made a great investment.
Oh yeah, that's a good record.
But I definitely wanted to prove them right for investing in me, and that's how I bought my first place.
That's great.
You know, I got my team leader to give me a salary that year. But enough about that. My first investment was a basement condo unit on Notre Dame Street in Embrun. It was $129,000. It was being sold by Oligo Developments, a well-known builder in Embrun and Russell. Yep. And I can still remember my parents and my girlfriend at the time, her parents saying, well, when you guys are bankrupt, you can always come back and live at home. So for the young investors out there, it's rare that you'll find family members that are supportive in your investments, because they have no advantage in pushing you to invest those types of amounts of money. They're there with the best of intentions. They're trying to protect you. They're trying to make sure that their son or their daughter is not making any mistakes. So if you're going to be investing in real estate, just be aware of that. You know, you might have some close family members that will try to scare you out of investing.
Oh, yes.
But turns out we bought for $129, sold for $154, like 18 months later. I moved to a bigger property, $400,000 home in Russell, and sold that one for a profit, and then, you know, moved on to the next and the next and the next. And eventually, I got really interested in buying residential properties. And I'm not a huge investor. I'm really like nothing compared to the bigger investors. But my Northern Star when it comes to investing, it's always cash flow. I got to make sure that a property has positive cash flow before I invest in it. So that's one of the reasons why I invest mostly outside the city. The price point is a bit lower. The rental income is not as high, but also pretty high, which gives you a nice positive cash flow investment. So if I were to make any recommendations to young investors out there, is that whatever you do, whatever you think an area is doing, like if you're buying in the hot downtown core and you think that your triplex that you pay $800 is going to be worth 1.3 in 2-3 years, but you're losing money every month, that's a dangerous investment.
Yeah.
But if you're buying outside the city, or maybe in, you know, we've got some neighborhoods here in Ottawa that are less desirable. They're becoming more desirable now, but like Vanier, a lot of investors turned their back on Vanier because, you know, the price points were low, the crowd in there was less desirable, but the cash flow is good.
Yeah.
And some of my most successful clients have bought in those types of neighborhood where the cash flow is heavy. Mm-hmm. If you're buying a place and, you know, you're paying a bit less money for it, but the cash flow is positive, then that's a less risky investment, in my opinion.
So you know you always have that monthly income coming in.
Well, you'll never be rushed to make a decision.
Yeah.
You know, if you're buying something in the Glebe or Westboro, and you know you've got it fully rented out, all like top dollar rents, everything's updated, and you're still losing $1,000 or $800 a month. Okay, if your job's going good and your sales are going good and everything's okay, not a problem. But if you find yourself needing to pivot on a quick decision, and then you're losing $1,000 every month, then you might be forced to make a decision. And I think that that's dangerous.
That's it. Like
that's just not the way I prefer to invest.
At that point, you're betting on appreciation, which is, you know, speculative. But if you have the numbers to back it up, it's not speculation.
Yeah.
It's cash flow.
Yes, definitely.
It's solid.
Yeah. Robert Kiyosaki, The Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Yeah. I know it's a classic. Like a lot of investors have already read it. But if it doesn't click for you, I suggest that you read it again.
It's an amazing book for
Yeah.
sure. So many lessons to learn from it.
Yeah.
Sure.
So buy assets, make sure that they generate income for you. And then on the other side, just invest in different companies. If you have the opportunity, you have somebody in your surrounding that is very talented, and you have the possibility to help them either with a bit of cash or maybe with your network, then start up a company. Right now, I've got 7 companies that I'm partners in, and it's because I have partners in the financial world, in the media world, obviously, like this studio, that are extremely talented. And either they were looking for a bit of coaching on the business side, or they needed some money, or they needed access to my network. And I've invested in those startup businesses also.
And do you think being diversified so much like that, is that slowing down your real estate business? Or you're not seeing any toll
Here's the thing.
at all?
I focus on whatever I feel like. Maybe it slowed down my real estate business. At one point, I was selling over 200 homes per year, but I got really fed up with it. And I can still remember going to the grocery store, and these people walk up to me, and they're like, "Hey, Marty, how's it going?" I'm like, I don't know.
Which client are you?
Where have we met? They're like, "Oh, we got our house listed with you right now." But that's what happens when you're carrying over 40 listings.
That's it, eh?
You know, and day in, day out, you've got like 3 listing appointments. Boom, 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 boom,
That's
boom, boom,
it.
boom. And it's such like it should be an intimate relationship with your realtor. I find I just didn't really enjoy running that big system. Maybe one day I'll want to be back there, but for now I'm enjoying running these different companies.
Yeah, because then at that point your time was tied to, or the money you were making was tied to your time. But then
Yeah.
if you diversify your investments,
Yeah.
you're less tied to the amount of time because
Of
you
course.
invested in those businesses, right? So they're
And if you were to look at like my motivation, like I'm definitely somebody that gets motivated by variety. Like I get bored if I do the same thing
Yeah, it'd be
day in,
stale.
day out. So for me to invest in different little projects, it's enjoyable.
yeah,
Like during COVID, I took an apprenticeship as a carpenter. You know,
interesting.
I worked with you.
yeah. So
It was fun.
we
I
learned
learned a lot.
We learned a lot. One of my uncles,
Uncle?
he was a superintendent in one of our buildings, and I'd go spend a few days a week with him, learn how to, frame a wall, how to repair damaged roof trusses, how to lay down flooring, just a bunch of different stuff, how to do a bit of plumbing, how to do like electrical work, all that stuff. And like, it's important for you to be versatile, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, you got to be able to manage small things.
And those skills you learned or you can use every day.
Yeah.
And they go hand in hand with your real estate business as well.
Yeah,
Like you can see an issue way faster now than
Yeah.
you used to.
definitely.
before. It helped me a lot.
And it's good. I mean, if your wife wants something done at home, and then you can do it.
Got an
You don't
idea
have
to do it now.
you don't have to hire out. You know,
Yeah.
I got interested in building furniture. Like, I
Built
just
this table.
I built this table. Yeah. It's a nice table. This little crack here is bugging me quite a bit, but I think I can fix that. But no, I love just doing different types of things. Like yeah.
So I assume you said you have a couple of investment properties.
Yeah.
I assume you delegate then the management to some management company.
So we used to, and then we learned that you're never as well served as when you are served by yourself. So not opposed to delegating that out eventually, but for now we're managing 19 doors. So
and
it's
when
not,
you say you have a team or
Yeah.
okay.
So different partners for different properties. That's also another thing that I would recommend young investors is don't be afraid to get a partner, because you can buy bigger projects.
Yeah.
And the bigger projects usually have a higher cash flow. And if you're buying like only a single family home or a small condo, and then that tenant leaves, then you're in trouble because you're losing all of your revenue. But if you can buy bigger properties with more doors, it doesn't hurt as much when one tenant leaves.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
And how many doors do you have?
19.
19.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We always want more, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
The guy-
Yeah, it's never enough.
The guy that has 4 wants more. The guy that has 19 wants 200.
Yeah.
So, yeah. For me, I don't see, like, the more I can buy, the more I'll want.
Yeah.
It's a business that's super scalable.
Yeah.
So, but I'm looking at the numbers out there, and the cash flowing investments are tough to find.
Yeah.
Very
They're
much. So.
very tough to find.
Yeah.
Like, I've got clients that are looking right now, and I'm looking at different triplexes, duplexes. Like, it's tough.
I think the interest rates have a big play in that.
Yeah, yeah. So, and some of these people that own these investments, they still have mortgages that are at lower interest. So their motivation to sell is very low.
Exactly.
Like, that buyer is dealing with a totally different reality than that seller. But, if you find a good opportunity, jump on it. Yeah.
Do you have a goal of how many doors you'd want?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
As much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. And that's mostly in the Ottawa region, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty much all in the outskirts
Okay.
for me.
Okay.
Yeah. From Ottawa to Hawkesbury.
Yeah. Easier to find cash flowing properties when
Yeah.
you're outside of the big center for sure.
Yeah.
I was presented an opportunity in Cornwall a few weeks ago. Good numbers, but like, I refused it just because it's outside my corridor.
Okay.
Like, if I need to go to one of my properties,
Yeah.
they're all more or less in the same area.
That's it.
You know,
You
if
don't want to have this big
No.
to go in.
no, because if it's outside of your area, then you really need to get property management, and then it eats up in some of the cash
Some of the
flow.
profit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly. Yeah. And you said, okay, so you invested in a couple of businesses that you know.
Yeah.
Are you well versed in stocks as well, or
No,
mostly
not at
just
all.
companies you're aware of?
No, I mean, we touched on it a bit, but I'm not like interested in speculative investments.
Okay.
And for me, stocks, they rarely generate any type of income. I know that you can have dividend stocks and stuff like that, but there's always a possibility that Nortel stock could go to zero, or any type of company.
You
Yeah.
have EXP stocks. We all do.
We all have EXP stocks because we are given EXP stocks.
Yeah,
Every transaction that we do for the first time, we go into the anniversary. I bought a bit of crypto a while back. Bought some Ethereum, bought some Phantom coin, bought some Dogecoin.
Interesting.
Yeah. So small positions on all of those three. And after the US election, I logged into my crypto account, and the Dogecoin is up like 120%
Yeah.
in 1 week.
Yeah.
So like, I doubled my money. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Elon Musk is supportive of that project, so I think it has a big impact.
Yeah, but like, if I look at those other coins, like, they're pretty much flat or down,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. So like, I rolled the dice. Yeah, like, it's crazy returns on one of them.
But it's speculative.
It's super speculative, and then I lost on the other positions. So I mean, am I really ahead?
Yeah,
You know,
that's it. Exactly.
I'm probably like even on those three investments.
Okay.
So it's not, it's tough.
Yeah. Oh no, crypto is very speculative.
Are you invested in crypto?
I'm invested only in Bitcoin. That's
Okay.
the only crypto that I'd invest in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it just hit a new high,
Yep.
88.
Oh no, we're talking 125 now.
So it really jumped up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the last week, it's up what, like
It's
80%?
up 40% now.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is. It makes total sense. The states are talking about doing a treasury reserve currency of crypto, of Bitcoin only.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it makes sense because thing is with Bitcoin is that we don't know who created it. So there's no like CEO, or there's no one that can play into what the code of the coin is. So you can have it as a treasury currency. It's like gold. You can own gold, but no one owns the raw material, right? It's a commodity. No one can say, "Hey, gold is not worth any more because we're mining less this year."
Yeah.
Or something like that. So that's the big thing for me.
So for me, like, I don't see the value. Like, I've been explained Bitcoin like a gazillion different ways.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but what is it? It's code, and it's on the blockchain, and it can't be falsified. But what is it? It's code.
Yeah.
It's like it's got no intrinsic value.
That's it. Ain't no physical.
No physical value.
Present
And
value.
like, let's be honest, if the power goes out, if we don't have our devices to trade, like we can't trade Bitcoin. So for me, like cryptos, yeah, they're fun. I'm seeing some good returns on some of the investments, but I prefer like hard assets.
Yeah.
And the name of your show is called Asset Ambitions. So I think that if you're going to be focusing on any type of assets, like real estate is one of them. Another one should be physical gold and silver. If the world goes to shit and you want to pay for anything, like if you've got some physical gold, you'll never be, you'll never be empty-handed.
That's it.
But
Exactly.
the crypto it's a tough one for me. Yeah. Yeah. How about gold
I
and
don't understand it either.
no, eh?
Bitcoin, I've been same as you. I've been explained it 1,000 times and
Yeah.
still don't.
The thing about the crypto value is just how popular it is.
Yeah.
And if you take away that popularity, is it going to maintain? Well, it won't maintain its value.
Yeah, that's it. Like for example, it's how popular it is for Ethereum because there's no set limit amount, right?
Okay.
But Bitcoin has a set cap
Mm-hmm.
of 21 million ever. So even if it doesn't become more popular, it's becoming more scarce by the day, right? There's less and less available to the market by the day.
So what happens once they've printed all of the coins?
Once all of them are mined, it's if I'm ready to sell it to you, you can buy it. If I'm not ready to sell it to you, you'll have to pay a big premium to find someone that's ready to sell it.
Yeah.
So that's where it gets its value. It's that there's a set limit to it. Gold has a set limit to it, but it expands 2% a year or so, gold
Yeah.
miners. But Bitcoin, it's a set cap. Once everything's mined, and that's it.
So what will stop somebody from creating another cryptocurrency at that moment?
Nothing. That's why there's over 10,000 projects, right?
Yeah.
But that one is the biggest recognizable one across the world because there's no founder. There's a creator. We don't know who it is, and that's a good thing that we don't know who it is.
Satoshi?
Yeah, if we would know who it is, they could be bribed to change the code, or they could be
Yeah.
bribed to give some to the States or to give some to Russia or something like
Does
that.
that person still own Bitcoins?
Yes, he has 10,000 in a wallet that everyone can see, and they've never been taken out. So he hasn't profited from his project at all. And the goal of that is keeping these 10,000 in that one wallet forever to prove the integrity of the network and to prove that he will never sell any at a profit.
So 10,000 at 120?
Yeah,
So that would be
couple
1.2
billion.
1.2 billion?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it must
So
be
he could make quite a bit of money if he was still here and wanted to.
not if he's worth 150 billion already.
Yeah.
When you say we
You
don't
think
know
it's
who
you think
is,
it's Elon Musk?
No. No.
You don't
I
think so?
I don't think so.
Well, who else could resist the temptation of cashing out 1.5 billion?
I don't know.
maybe has
You gotta
other
have
projects that he's been cash flowing off of.
maybe. You gotta have like good ethics. Very good ethics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he were to sell everything, would that be enough to make the market crash?
If everyone sold their Bitcoin?
No, if that the inventor that owns
10,000?
a wallet of 10,000.
No, it would probably go to 100,000 or something because
What's
the
the-
supply would go up.
What's the total supply?
21 million?
Oh,
We're
okay.
at
So, yeah.
19,800,000 something mined.
Yeah.
In 2035, 99% of the float will be fully mined.
99.
And once we hit 99 percent, it's going to take over 100 years to mine the rest.
Yeah.
Because every 4 years, the mining efficiency becomes less and less
Okay.
as it becomes more scarce.
And
So
when you say
today-
mining, what do you mine?
You mine bitcoins, and bitcoins are code, like you said, but they're code kind of in a digital city. It's kind of a
You solve the equation,
digital
right?
Manhattan.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the place that everyone wants to be to trade online.
Yeah.
It has 96% of all of the crypto, the money invested in the crypto
And how much-
market.
Like how much power does this consume?
I don't know exactly the
That would
amount
be-
of power.
it's not
but
very
the
green.
It's the most profitable power consumption because it brings back economic value,
Of course.
right? When we're in
But
our house, we're just heating our house and whatnot.
but if people weren't mining Bitcoin, electricity would be cheaper for everyone because the demand would go down.
If you hold Bitcoin, electricity is going down in price, though.
If you hold Bitcoin, electricity is going down in price.
Yeah. I mean, it was 80,000 a month ago, and now it's 120,000 per Bitcoin, right? So if you had one whole Bitcoin, you made $40,000. So houses are depreciating. Anything's depreciating in your eyes if you're holding Bitcoin. That's the beauty of it. It's that everything's depreciating.
Yeah.
It's
I still don't get it.
anti-inflation currency.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as there's money printing, Bitcoin will go up.
But you could say the same about gold.
Yeah, though it's not a set cap. 2% are mined more per year. Bitcoin, it's going to be a set cap, not negotiable.
But there is only a finite amount of gold in the world.
Yes,
We just don't know what that is.
exactly.
Yeah.
Bitcoin, we know it. We see it in the code.
Because we could find
non-negotiable.
a deposit of like 100 tons, and that would make the market come down
Yes,
of
that's
gold,
correct.
Like
Exactly.
we could stop finding gold.
and then that would make the market go up.
Yeah, that would make the market go up. Scarcity.
Yeah.
It would make the market go up. Though, if you're in China right now, I can't send you gold. Like, it's going to get grabbed in the customs. They're not going to let me send you gold
Yeah.
directly to you, but I could send Bitcoins to you in China any day without.
There's some websites that allow you to hold your holdings in gold. So you don't have $10,000, you've got 5 ounces of gold.
Okay.
And if I wanted to transfer you money, if I'm buying like a pack of gum from you, then that $1.27 is not $1.27 reduced from my account. It's like 1.7 grams.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's
So that's gold that you're not holding. Like you don't have it at home.
so they hold it in mints.
Okay.
So they've got holdings here at the Ottawa Mint, in Switzerland. I think there's a few other mints in the world that hold physical gold bars for this company. It's called goldmoney.com, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you've talked to me about it a couple.
Yeah, so it's sort of like an angle on the digital money, but it's not digital currency. It's like
It's backed up.
It's pegged to the
yeah,
gold amount.
it's backed up by ounces and grams and
Yeah.
kilos
That's
of
it.
gold.
Okay.
Disadvantage with that, it takes a lot of manpower to manage all of that, and the fees to hold those accounts are pretty expensive.
Okay.
So like
That's-
I closed down my account, the fees were like $55 a month. And I was just interested in playing around with it, but it doesn't make sense. You're losing $600 per year, and I'd rather keep that $600 in my pocket.
Totally.
But if you're an investor that wants to put a few $100,000 into that, and then you see the price of gold climbing, then it makes sense to invest $600 to get that managed.
Yeah.
That's
Instead
it.
of holding all that gold in your house or somewhere.
Yeah. Well, there's a danger, right?
It comes with a risk,
Yeah.
especially if people know you have
Yeah.
that much gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can
Yeah.
be risky.
You have to invest in safes and,
Yeah.
But then
hold
you're,
it.
you're trusting that counterparty that says, hey, we have this amount of gold here and we're not
Yeah.
printing or making.
There's no, there's no like malarkey or no, like, there's nobody likes trying to pull a fast one on you. And the same could be said for that same argument I said before. If the power goes down and we can't trade online,
Yeah.
then that account is no good,
Yeah.
right?
That's it.
So, yeah, different investments for different purposes. When it all boils down, I think that real estate and companies are still
Yeah.
the best investment.
Real estate is very solid. It's
Yeah.
very solid. You know you'll track the market. You know you'll remain at the return that the market gives you, and if you can do a monthly profit
Of
while
course.
renting rooms or renting apartments, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
And also real estate, there's things you can do to boost your income
Yeah,
and boost your value as well, as in if you buy Bitcoin, you have no control on how to gain value on it.
you can't go live in a Bitcoin,
That's right.
Yeah.
right? But like if I have this mind that worries sometimes. And, what if things don't go well? What if companies don't go well? I could always go live in one of my investment properties. I can live in one unit and then have the 4 other units in the building cash flow. And like, that's security for me. You can't do that with Bitcoin. You can't do that with gold, right? So like, you invest for different types of reasons.
That's it.
And for me, that's a strong one. What about you guys? You got plans to buy some multi-res sometime soon?
Well, I bought my first property last year.
Yeah.
It's
Congrats.
going great. I have the rent is set to what the market is. He came in 2022. 2023 gave him his rent increase notice.
Yeah.
We'll be doing it soon as well for this year. So it's going very well.
Good.
It's a good experience. It's a lot of things to manage. That's only one tenant, so
Yeah.
getting used to it.
Of course.
But
Yeah.
the next one should come within 2 years. The next property, I'd assume.
Good. And what about your clients? Like, because you guys are fairly young. How old are you guys? 20,
I'm 23.
22.
22?
Yeah.
Okay. And the clients that you're representing that are your age, what are they thinking about investing? Is that something that interests them?
I'd say it's 50-50 because a lot of people are scared of parents. Like you said, parents are telling them, oh, well, we had bad experience with tenants.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So you have like half that are really against it.
Yeah.
And the other half are very interested.
Yeah. Tenant selection is like one of the most important things when it comes down to buying rental properties. I used to be like of the opinion of like, they've got bad credit. We'll give them a chance. They're just starting out their new business. I'll give them a chance. Or the previous landlord had bad reviews, but I met the guy and like he seems sincere and like, okay, perhaps they're willing to change their life around, but like I don't want to take a chance anymore. Because I've walked into units where the fridge was unplugged for like a month straight. Where there's garbage everywhere and like there's holes in the walls and yada yada yada. Like I don't want to deal with that. So it's unfortunate, but we do refuse maybe 2 out of every 3 applications that comes through our doors. We just want to make extremely sure that we're renting to high quality people, and I think that's important.
Especially like if you can hold a unit empty until you really find the
Yeah.
right tenant. That's very important.
I'd say you're better off like having it vacant for months on end. Rather than.
Find the right one.
But you need to be able to do that financially,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, definitely. But if you have somebody that moves in and doesn't pay you,
It's not better.
it's not better. So
Exactly.
yeah, you gotta be very cautious when it comes to that stuff.
And so how about the rent increases? Do you give that every year? Is it subjective to the tenant? How do you work?
It's funny, eh? Like some tenants, I have not bothered them with that. If I feel that I'm getting fair market value, I know I should be doing that. But no, I have not. No.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Because
Maybe I
it
should.
catches you up, right? The price is going up if ever.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't give it,
definitely.
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll regret it, and
I guess I've just been so busy doing other things that I haven't really focused on that.
Okay.
But if I was advising a client, I would say you should.
you would. Okay.
What do you think about the new buildings with no rent controls?
Yeah, that's kind of a weird one, eh?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Anything after 2018.
I don't understand why the government did that. It's kind of a weird law.
Yeah.
Like if you buy something that's newer and then the tenant moves out, what is it?
No, it doesn't even need. Let's say your lease is expiring.
Yeah.
You can increase it by how, like the rent increase is not determined by the government. You can choose how much you raise it from.
Why did they do that?
I don't know. I think it can be good for some things, but
Maybe to stimulate the market.
I don't know. But
I'm not
only
sure.
new builds or
But I mean-
buildings built after 2018.
If you're an investor and you're buying a property, you're going to be planning on renting it out for a certain amount.
Yeah.
You'll get that amount. And then you'll be able to increase it after the lease expires.
Yeah. After a year, you can increase it.
Would that be enough of an advantage for you to purchase that new build versus something else?
I don't think so because
No.
when you look at the prices,
Yeah.
new builds are very expensive.
Because
compared to,
are we expecting rental prices to go up by that much?
I don't think so.
Because I think
And
we just went through a big increase,
for sure.
a big like inflation period. So I don't think we'll see another one
And
unless
you
they
have a-
put the minimum wage at like $25,
Yeah.
and then that's gonna make everything go up in
That's right.
price. But
But you have, if you have a good tenant, I don't think it would bring you any value to just raise it and have them leave.
no, I don't think so.
Like,
Yeah, it's a weird one.
I'd probably just keep
But
following the
It's
Yeah.
also a
government.
weird one to have government tell you how much you can increase to as well, though.
Yeah,
There's,
it's not
why
a.
would government choose how much you're charging?
Well, I think that comes on the political side, satisfying the electorates
Yeah.
to make them think that you're protecting them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to get you some votes. But I am what you call a capitalist. Like, I believe in the market more than any politician.
Yeah.
I think that the market should dictate, what places are going for.
Totally agreed.
There needs some regulation to make sure that everybody's being safe and everything.
Yeah.
But I've had my few run-ins with bureaucracies, and sometimes it just doesn't make any sense.
That's right.
And I think that because we're over-regulated, it's sort of drawing up the interest for investors to get involved. And for that reason, it's spiking up the prices,
Yeah.
Like, people don't want to build. There's so much red tape these days. And, like, for example, are you guys good on time?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to build something, I'm going through it right now. I don't want to name the township, but like, you have to pay an engineer for the engineer to go study the pipes that are in the city's sewers, in the city's water line, for the city to tell you if they have enough water to service your new project. And I mean, it's called a feasibility study.
So you need to pay.
I need to pay it as a developer in order for the engineer to go study the city's pipes to tell me if I can do the project.
That's amazing.
It's not amazing. It's wasteful.
It is very wasteful.
And it's like tens of thousands of dollars.
That's over regulation.
That's
That's-
over regulation.
Yeah.
As a township, you want to grow, and I feel like that would make some investors that are trying to make the town grow just go elsewhere
Yeah.
to invest.
And oh no, we need to make sure. We don't want to make sure that it's like, okay, but you installed the pipes. You know how many sewers that you're servicing. Like, like, why is this law in there? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And we've also had our share of run-ins with over-enthusiastic building inspectors. Like, they want you to, this is the code, and they want you to go above and beyond.
The fire code as well.
The fire code as well. Like, we already go above and beyond, like with our soundproofing, making sure that everything's done well. Like, when we renovate a unit, it's top notch. But like, sometimes the city officials will come in and they'll want you to do like way above and beyond. And the recourse for that is so difficult. Like, if you challenge them, like, they'll just say no. And then it becomes like a big hassle to try to challenge them.
Yeah, and then the relationship kind of phrase.
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, do I want to challenge them? Because then they'll be like even more on my case the next time they walk in.
Yeah.
So my opinion is, if you feel that you're being taken advantage of, sometimes it's worth kicking up a fuss.
Yeah.
And fighting.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree,
Sure.
or retaliate by moving to a different jurisdiction. Like,
Yeah.
This is,
So call the elected officials and let them know, like, it's difficult to invest in your township, or
Yeah.
it's difficult to invest in your city.
simple as that.
And I think that at the end of the day, like, we've got an incoming government, probably the Conservatives. There's a 99% chance that we'll have a Conservative government. And the leader's, one of his big campaign promises is that he's going to remove the red tape from municipalities. So if municipalities are being too strict on approving new subdivisions and stuff like that, he will withhold federal financing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So once the Conservatives come into power, hopefully we'll see cities have less red tape.
Yeah, that would be a good move, I think.
Yeah, because we've got a problem in this country where we don't have enough homes.
Yeah.
and that's one of the reasons why the prices are so expensive. It's a supply of, supply and demand. So the more houses you have, then, the prices will come down, or they'll stop like getting, higher and higher.
Yeah, it'll calm down.
Yeah, it has calmed down over the past 18 months, I would say.
Yeah.
Where do you think the market's going, like within the next year?
Well, that depends on a lot of things. I mean, we just had our government, the Liberals, walk back the immigration numbers. I think that's a good start. I'm not anti-immigration by any means, but I think we need to be realistic, and we need to let in a certain amount of people every year, people that are interested in contributing to society, that maybe have a specific set of skills, like laborers for construction site, skilled electricians, plumbers, stuff like that. Like, we need those people in this country, and if we can have them through immigration, great. So you're asking me where the market will go? It really depends on what happens with the immigration. It depends on what happens with the interest rates. There's lots of factors there. Yeah.
It's hard to predict.
It's very hard to predict. And that's another reason why, I'll say it again, I think this is third time I'll say it, like when you invest in real estate, invest for cash flow.
Yeah.
Because you can follow real estate prices throughout the years. It hits some bubbles, sometimes it dips.
Yeah.
The COVID, like, prices skyrocketed, then it came down a bit. Now it's going back up. If you look at the rental prices, they're pretty consistent, and they rarely go down. If they go down, it's like a small adjustment. It's not a crash. So there's more consistency in rental revenue than there is in sale prices. So I would say that if you're going to be making any investments, make sure that the cash flow is there. Yeah.
That makes total
And when you're negotiating for buyers, like, use it to your advantage. Let the owners know that you're only going to let these buyers buy this property if it cash flows.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Because that's what you're looking for, right?
That's what you're looking for. That's what the buyer should be looking for. And if the seller doesn't understand that, then, But if I'm representing a seller, then it's a different story. Depends who's hiring you, right? So,
That's it.
For sure.
but you guys work with mostly buyers? Well,
Yes.
you do. You guys,
Couple
you
listings
both
on
do
the
listings,
market,
yeah.
but,
Yeah.
yeah, mostly buyers.
That's something you could use to your advantage when you're negotiating for a buyer.
Yeah.
But if you're representing a seller, like, hey, rental prices always go up, man. Anyways, so
That's right. Yeah.
it all depends. And this was fun, guys.
Yeah, it was. We're
Yeah.
running out of time.
Yeah.
For sure. We just have one question
Sure.
that we wanted to ask.
Sure.
What's your most prized asset that you hold?
Oh my God. This is gonna be super corny, but the house that we live in, it's wonderful. Like, the family gets to enjoy it, and I wouldn't be able to have that house if I didn't make the investments that I made.
You didn't take the risks.
If I didn't take the risks, if I didn't have the education I did, like, yeah, that's the most prized asset, I guess.
You got a nice place.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's great.
Yeah, it's nothing too fancy, but
It's a nice place.
Yeah, it's
Nice
where.
garage.
Yeah.
Nice office.
Yeah, get to play darts in the garage. Yeah, no, Marie-Pierre loves it.
Come by sometime again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Play
that's
some
right.
darts.
We played darts after the.
What did that pizza delivery guy say? I was trying to think. He wanted to.
Are you guys getting down tonight?
Yeah, I think he wanted to party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he
You
walked.
wanted to come back.
Yeah. It was like, when I'm done delivering, you guys getting down tonight. I was trying to
It kinda
remember.
went down.
Yeah, he was like, you guys getting down tonight. I was trying to remember that, but no, my most prized asset. Yeah, and that's the reason why you invest, right? Is to enjoy the lifestyle.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
Some people out there, they invest they want to be worth more and more and more and more and more. That's okay, but it can become a sickness at some point.
Yeah.
So I think that, in your career, you got to celebrate. In your investor life, like, you got to,
Treat yourself.
treat yourself, figure out what the family wants, and enjoy. Yeah,
That's it.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's some pretty cool gold coins that I own.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I was going to say that at first, but...
I thought you were gonna say your fourplex, because you always tell me that's.
I mean, that's a home run. that's a home run
Yeah.
for sure.
You'll have to show us those gold coins eventually.
You showed me a couple.
Oh man,
At
You
one
have
point,
them at the office here?
well, we were meeting once a
I've
week
got some
before.
here. Yeah,
When I first started, we were meeting once a week, and you'd show me your coins.
yeah.
You'd spend 50
Got
minutes.
this one. That's so
Oh, I
cool.
got this one.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some properties that I listed for sale and nobody would buy, and like I was telling every investor, like, you gotta buy this, like it's a crazy good deal, and
Yeah.
then I would get angry and then I buy it.
Is that what happened with the fourplex?
That's what happened with the fourplex. There's a triplex in Fournier.
Yeah.
I listed it 4 times.
I listed it once.
Yeah, and I told the investors like, buy this, and they wouldn't. And then after the 4th time I listed it, I ended up buying it
You got
myself, and we did pretty good. Like we had a positive cash flow investment. We dealt with a dry well on a Christmas Eve. That was no fun.
Yeah.
But it was a good investment.
Yeah, I think we ended up selling it for $175,000 more than what we bought it for, and we enjoyed the cash flow for all the years that we owned it.
That's great.
Even though we invested in a well for 15 grand, that's a small price to pay
Yeah.
for the returns that we got.
Oh, it comes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Physical assets need reinvestments.
And you also make connections with contractors and stuff like that that can.
Yeah, I
add
mean, there's a
value to your
contractor
business.
that helped us with the well. Like, I think he's bought and sold like 7 properties with us in the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
So, I mean,
Those are good clients to have.
like I was talking about the podcasting, like it's a connection that I made because of podcasting that leads to a real estate sale. Like, you got to go out there, you got to make connections.
That's it.
and,
Keep
yeah.
pushing
The more
forward.
conversations you make, the more
Yeah.
clients you'll have.
Yeah. Let me flip it on you guys for the few minutes that remain. What are your plans to generate more business from now until Christmas?
I think in these next 2 months, I think it's being available.
Yeah.
I think
for
that
sure.
there's a lot of, I hear a lot of realtors saying, oh, it's starting to be slow and everything. I'm not putting that into my head.
No.
I won't let that get to my head. I don't think it's being slow. I think it's just them slowing down.
Yeah.
I'd say that.
Yeah.
So it's just being available and keep doing the work.
Yeah.
Get those deals before Christmas.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Decembers are usually pretty good months
Yeah.
for
yeah.
Chris and I because we work.
Exactly.
Pretty much
You
all the
gotta
way.
Keep doing it. There's a lot that are slowing down.
There's a
Take
lot of
advantage
business,
that
yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very cyclical.
Yeah.
The agents they're starting to take time off.
Yeah. For me, honestly, it's mostly been reaching out to people that have reached out in the past, haven't made a deal or anything.
Yeah.
Just reach out to like past clients, and I've gone a lot of showings recently out of that.
Yeah.
So, I think I'm
Definitely.
going to keep doing that for a couple months. Need to prospect as well.
Yeah.
You can't stop prospecting.
Yeah.
Ever. That has been working for me recently. So
Definitely.
yeah, keep going.
You guys should get some young influencers on your podcast.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some people that got good followings
Yeah.
in the Ottawa area, and maybe you want to talk investments with them,
Yeah.
especially if they're finding success on the influencer side.
Mm-hmm.
That could open up some doors
For sure.
for you guys.
Yeah.
Some kids that have some big followings.
That's a good tip for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's good.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Yes.
It was a pleasure.
My
to have you.
pleasure. Yeah. Yeah. Is this purple? Are you sticking with the purple and blue?
I think so.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think what we've been doing so far is we let it hot as it was when we came in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's nice.
Yeah.
think
I usually go
Nice
with all the blue in the
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
EXP Blue.
DXP blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be fun if we had like a strobe light in a disco setting.
Yeah.
Could get
At the
down
party.
tonight. Invite that pizza delivery
Have
guy.
a dartboard. and play
Yeah, we were
cards.
thinking about installing a dartboard in the office.
That would be nice.
It'd be nice. It
It
would,
doesn't take too much space. You can close it, have tables, just move tables.
yeah, when we were at Remax, we had a pool table.
Oh,
and
yeah. At our office, we used to have the ping pong table.
yeah, you guys would go up to,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Limoges, and
Yeah, that was fun.
you don't have it anymore.
No.
You
Don't
miss
have
it?
the second floor
Yes.
anymore.
You miss it, eh?
Yeah, it gives you like bonding, you know. It's,
Yeah.
You get done with a couple of calls. Hey, I want to burn a bit of energy here.
Yeah.
Stand up, go play 5 minutes, and that's
Chris
it.
and I, we used to play pool at Remax. We had a nice pool table there, and we'd play a game of pool after lunch. We'd discuss business ideas, and then we'd go and we'd get to work after that.
That's it.
It was nice to decompress. So maybe, yeah, darts.
We used to play
Yeah, that'd be
darts
nice.
last winter. I think 2 or 3 times a week.
Somebody knocking?
I think so.
Yeah,
We're out of
we're-
time.
We'll
We're out
wrap
of
that up.
time.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you very much for
Yes.
watching. 5th episode. Thank you.
In the
Martin.
books.
Yes, sir.
My pleasure.
All right.